Hello everybody, it's Rick. Sunday, August 14th. I'm going to do a quick video on, I received a notice to appear. I did a video on what to do when you get a summons. But I'm basically going to give you, I'm going to show you some of the motions I put together. I'm filing them tomorrow in family court. And I got to go to family court on the 22nd. So, you know, for those who saw my video on of my interaction with that criminal Sudeep Kaur in the video, well, that was on the 29th. And if anybody, you know, remembers, she was talking about, you know, there was two motions I filed, and if you remember, I was like, well, you never answer them anyway. Well, those two motions were from 2014. So she doesn't respond to them because she's a criminal. She doesn't like answering questions, as everybody saw in the video. And I had a friend of mine who watched the video, and he was so mad. He sent me a text last night. He was like, he can't understand how I'm able to put up with it, because as he said, he'd be killing people, not figuratively, but, you know, beating people up. But anyway, those motions were from 2014, 2 summers ago. So what I did was I went and started doing, I put together what is called a Writ of Quo Warranto, which is basically what you're doing is you're asking them for their authority, the jurisdiction, and they have to give it to you, because they have to prove to you that it's like an order to show cause, but it's done in a motion form. Like it. All I know is it works because I filed this on July 29th, and on August 5th, this showed up in the mail, along with a decision from the Sudeep Kaur character, which I should show you guys. It's hysterical. This woman is out of her mind. She, where the hell is it? 1 second. Here it is. This is her decision. Now, this is in response to my two motions. I have motions to vacate for lack of jurisdiction. And she's like sarcastic in it. The case history reflects there was an enforcement petition filed by respondent mother, and she puts down September 29, 2010. It was really September 15th. That's when the petition was filed. So if she cannot even get a simple fact like that correct, how can anything else be correct? But anyway, I think she's sarcastic in here because I filed a case in federal court, and that case is still going on. On the pacer, it says that it's terminated because the judge, you know, must think I'm a moron, that she's just gonna, you know, bowl me over with a dismissal for lack of jurisdiction. Now, I file a trespass lawsuit in the United States District Court for violating my constitutional rights, you know, trespass on rights, deprivation of rights, and the United States District Court, which is supposed to be an Article 3 court, and they tell me that they don't have jurisdiction. And the reason why, like, a lot of these family courts are getting away with all this nonsense, these bullshit decisions without evidence and stuff, is because when you try to sue them in federal court, the fake, even though the orders are fake, they're not entered or recorded or signed by a clerk, which is, you know, all writs in the United States are supposed to be signed and recorded with the clerk. They deem that a judgment, a state judgment, and their attitude is, well, we're not an appellate court. You have to fight that on a state level, regardless of your, you know, your privilege to have a jury trial by jury is denied, because all these family courts are tribunals. You're never going to see a judge. Last year I had sent a letter a request in from the clerk in family court. When her name, when she signed all the orders, and she wrote me back a response. What the hell is it? Sorry, I got all these stupid papers here. I'm not that organized. But her response was, at no time, well, she goes, family court does not conduct jury trials, and at no time is my name anywhere on an order. In other words, she was covering her ass because she knew I just, the day before she wrote the thing, I was there serving. That's the video when I was there with my friend trying to serve summons on them. So she's covering her ass. So they know that this is a crime. So anyway, the federal court, they'll say, well, it's called the Rooker-Feldman doctrine. And that's what that's hearsay, by the way. What is a case called the Rooker-Feldman have to do with me? What it basically says is that you're not allowed to, if you lose in state court, you're not supposed to come to federal court. But isn't that how you end up in the Supreme Court anyway? If you think about it. So what it is, it's just a simple way of protecting them. And I've done a lot of research, and if you check out all these court cases, and it's very difficult to find like a support magistrate or family court being sued because they're being protected by the federal courts, because they're all in on the scam. It's a big scam. They all make money on it. So it's very difficult. But I just filed a writ of error coram nobis, which is what it is. It's new. You're submitting evidence to tell them that they made an error and that they have to reopen the case because they overlooked that evidence and they dismissed the case or whatever without cause. So I just filed that. I just did it yesterday. I mailed it out to federal court yesterday. But getting back to this was filed by me on the 29th, and on the 5th this came. That's pretty fast. So I must have struck a nerve. I also, on the 29th, I filed an order. And what you do is you file an order and you tell them, the reasons why the order is being made. This order is made because family court lacks jurisdiction. This one she didn't follow the law. Then you put in some case laws. Now, anybody listening to this, if you're divorced, you don't belong in family court. Okay? If you ever get a summons in the mail, I did a video on what to do. If you get a summons to go to family court, you're served, you have no business going there. Family court has no jurisdiction for a New York divorce. Now, if it's a interstate matter, like you're from another state, they do have jurisdiction. But then you're going to send them, just follow my video and I'll tell you what to do. Anyway, what I did is you write up the order and you leave the last page blank for him to sign. I gave this to him. I'm going to see what happens when I go there on the 22nd. I'm kind of, for the first time, I'm excited about going to family court. Can you believe that? But I know it's because of these orders. They usually ignore me, but I know it's because of this Writ of Quo Warranto, because I filed this in federal court and the judge responded to me really fast with that as well. I mean, she didn't do anything. She's still throwing all these case laws. You're doing good when they throw case laws out here without evidence, because that's all window dressing. So anyway, on the 22nd. The first thing I'm filing is a notice of special appearance, which is they have to show me evidence they had jurisdiction for me to be there. Wasil Bey told me to do that. Good channel. If you don't know about it, WASIL. Second, BEY. He's a good man, knows his stuff. He's a wordsmith. He's like a walking He's like a walking dictionary. He's a walking thesaurus. He's a good man. And he's not trying to bang out, trying to make money off of people and stuff. And him and Amin Osiris, two good men. They don't try to make any money off of anybody. Anyway, this is going to the judge. So when I get there, this is saying that Richard Wyman is making a special appearance. Does so with all his rights secured. At no time will I waive my secured rights. I, man Richard Wyman Jr., is not awarded a court and without needed assistance from an attorney. I, man Richard Wyman Jr., does not speak legalese, and I prefer two men, Richard Wyman and Robert Caloris, to speak plain English between each other. And then I put a bunch of other stuff in here, like I want him to act according to judicial code. I put in here, there's a good case called Trinzi Pagliaro. Now, how many people have been to court or whatever, and the lawyer's doing all the talking? Well, he's supposed to talk, but he's supposed to back it up with evidence. A lot of that talking is window dressing. So, because lawyers are unsworn, so that's unsworn testimony. So hearsay and unsworn testimony by an attorney is not facts before the court. That's Trinzi Pagliaro. Then I filed a writ of prohibition, which is telling them that there's a law that they're not following, and you're telling the judge to tell a lower person to follow the law. But I'm filing an objection. I'm speeding it up now, but there's a good case, Clyla versus Clyla, that states that family court is a court of limited jurisdiction, and it is without the power to set aside or modify the terms of stipulation or settlement agreement. Another case is Brescia versus Fitz, but getting back to that real fast, it's actions instituted to enforce a separation agreement as opposed to those actions seeking support within the meaning of the jurisdictional statutes. So in other words, if the case didn't originate in family court, you're not supposed to be in family court. You're supposed to be in the court where the order was issued. But they don't tell you that. You'll never get a lawyer to tell you that. That's why when you go to family court, there's people literally bumping into each other, and you got all these scumbag lawyers walking around with their briefcases, knowing, just robbing people like they robbed me. And then I filed this writ of error coram nobis. This is a really good. These are really good writs. I recommend everybody look it up. These things could be the difference between getting screwed in the rear end and winning a case. Now, again, I don't know how I'm going to do in the 22nd. I just may be, overexcited for no reason, but I think it's a good thing because I've never been in front of a judge before. And judges are not supposed to be handling support hearings because the money from federal government is deposited into the Treasury, and it pays the salaries and pensions of the judges. Does anybody know that? Do you know that all the money that is paid in traffic fines and stuff like that, that they're deposited, like a special fund for these judges, because the judges stated, well, we're doing you a favor. We could be in private practice, and you got the salaries you guys give us is not enough for what we do. So they share in the profits of all those fees. They get percentages in that. So like Supreme Court, all those fees, all those judges get a percentage of that. They have these trusts set up, but I heard a guy yesterday on YouTube state that a lot of these judges, when they retire, they're millionaires. So that's the reason why, so does that sound like a fair and impartial judge? No. All right, so I just will do a quick video just to give an update of what's going on and what orders I filed. And I'm getting really good at my orders. Look how nice these things are, huh? You'll never get a lawyer to put together an order like a motion like this. Look at this. It's perfect. Look at that. I got all the case laws. All right, jurisdictional case laws. Thus, where a judicial tribunal, which is family court, has no jurisdiction of subject matter on which it assumes to act, its proceedings are absolutely void in the fullest sense of the term. Dillon versus Dillon, wherever state that is, but it's all over. A court cannot confer jurisdiction where none existed and cannot make a void proceeding valid. Guys, 99% of the family court hearings are void. You just have to prove it. Okay, so do some research. Look up void judgments. Look up lack of jurisdiction. All right, guys, have a good night.